It is my pleasure to be your host tonight, narrating the Pape ride, Richardson, Texas, as we traverse these cold, hard roads with our friends, with our fellow cyclists, up and down. So me and Mark, we held it at a low tempo going up that hill. Then Kenneth came around and sped things up a little bit. Let us fast forward to Park Place now, and of course I've made some cuts to the video footage here, and we're going to do the whole Park Place scene here. And this is the kind of like, the top of the route, hammer zone of the ride. So there goes James on the right side. He is accelerating. So we have this we turn right going east, then we head south, and then we're headed east again. So depending on which way the wind is coming from, you may face headwinds, tailwinds, crosswinds, and you need to be patient on this. It's really hard to be strong enough to go off the front of this segment and just stay off the front. Very few can do that. And, we're going kind of hard here. 500 watts or so in the draft, and luckily I've got a big guy in front of me that's creating a big draft for me, and that's helping me out a little bit. So a little slow down there as we make the catch. It looks like Kenneth was on the front pulling hard and catching up to James, and we have made a catch. A little bit of an uphill. It's not apparent in the video, but of course if you're on the scene you're going to feel the uphill. It might be just a 0.5% in terms of the grade here, and here we are making the catch with James, and I'm taking a pull on the front. We're just about to crest the top here and then start a very slight downhill. So it's a cold night. I would say, I think the predicted temperature at the start was 40. So it got below 40 as temperatures are falling, and as night falls, we're getting close to the winter solstice. So soon the nights will be getting shorter and the days will be coming longer, and it just seems like we just started this winter, and here we are almost already with the days getting longer. Our second segment here, it is Parker, the famous gutter exam. So on this road, of course, we are facing almost always a crosswind. If the wind is from the south, that means the wind is coming from the right side, and if the prevalent wind is coming from the north, the wind is coming from the left side. So in this case, we have a little bit of a wind coming from the left side. Maybe I would say a mild to moderate, a little bit more than mild, but nothing too terrible in terms of the wind. Here we have local legend Sam on the front. If you are following my channel, you should certainly follow Sam's channel. Sam taught me everything I know about making videos. Now you might be arguing that's not very much, and you probably won't get an argument from him. But everything I know, I learned from him. And Alvin as well, who's taught me a lot about making videos, and you should subscribe to his channel as well. Sam's channel is Sam Findlater, or Find Later. That's how it's spelled. And Alvin's is the Armenian. And here we are with an attack off the front. Sam looks back at me and says, "Hey, I've been on the front a while. I'm not gonna chase this. Somebody else better come around and do something." So I guess it's up to me to make a little bit of a pull here. We have the new guy. I think he's visiting for the winter. Doing a little snooping around. I think he's in college, maybe? And he's visiting for the holidays. So he's off with James on the front. Got to get that same reflective stuff that James has on his coat. I mean, it literally looks like he is wrapped in light bulbs, and that's good, especially if you're prone to go off the front. So here we are making the catch on Parker Road. Apparently I have a fan of this channel, and I didn't realize that I actually had a fan, but apparently I have a fan, and she's not even a cyclist. She's the wife of one of the cyclists that I ride with. She said she happens to like my videos. And moreover, she said she likes the philosophical part of the videos. And I'm thinking, what part is the philosophy? And should I incorporate more of that for this fan? So, philosophy of writing, philosophy of life, philosophy of whatever. What is the point of cycling? The point of cycling is cycling. Now, you'll have to think about that. What is the point of exertion? The point of exertion is exertion. Now, that probably wasn't a surprise to you, neither was the first one. The point of anything I'm doing, I want to be in the moment, and I'm just doing it in the moment. So, I don't know. That goes to the point of, should everything in your life be preparatory for something else down the line? Well, maybe if you're going for the world championship. Maybe if you're preparing for the Olympics. Maybe if your mom said she will spank you if you're not the Cat 4 state crit champion or something like that, you know. But for most of us, the point of what we're doing is actually the thing that we're doing. So on this ride, the point of the pop ride is the pop ride. The point of going hard on the pop ride, again, is going hard on the pop ride. My point is that we do it for the fun of it. We do it for the enjoyment of it. We do it for just it. And maybe there's some side benefits, like a little bit of fitness. I think certainly there's a social benefit of camaraderie and fun and getting to know people. Perhaps some escapism from the normal drudgeries of life that we may encounter. Cycling brings together all kinds of people, specifically middle-aged males who have more money to spend on bikes than is really wise. That's the kind of people that get together for this sort of thing. Yeah, but it's not just guys. We have Angela on the ride here, so we have female representation. We have people from all kinds of backgrounds, different countries, ethnicities, languages, different parts of the country, different body shapes, tall guys, short guys, muscular guys, skinny guys. You can be anyone on this kind of thing. So anyway, that's our really lame philosophy segment for today. Let us get back to the quote-unquote action. So, here we are on Murphy Road, and I guess we have a little bit of a tailwind. Steve puts in an effort, and here I am. Too bad that you can't see my shadow because I was shaking my head a little bit. I was like, Steve, don't let the gap open up, please. And Steve let the gap open up. But that's okay. Steve put in an effort, and it's not necessarily his responsibility to shut that down. And as is wont to happen when someone goes off the front, instead of everyone working together to speed up and catch up to that guy, you got guys say, here's my opportunity to get away with the guy off the front, which is how you would do it. Most of the time in a race, you don't want to pull the whole group up to the break or to the person off the front. There may be a few situations in which that's a good idea, but in most cases, you'll be preferring to ride away with that guy or be in that group and have somebody else on some other team force the chase. But of course, we have the diesel locomotive Clint to guide us and pull this thing all back together. And the light's about to turn green here, and as soon as the light turns green, Clint says, I've done my job. You guys get to it, and I'll take a brief break here. And here we are back all together in this light. Here we are cutting to the informal sprint before FM 544 with Kimmeth and Alvin going at each other for a little bit of extra effort and exercise. Every bit of sprint and high power effort contributes to higher normalized power. So normalized power doesn't include your non-spinning moments, i.e. your 0-watt moments, because if you take the fourth power of 0 and then take the fourth square, is that what they call it, of 0, of x to the 4, you still get 0. So it is those large efforts that you get the exponential bonus to your normalized power. Not that it really matters so much, but that's just a brief explanation as I understand normalized power. Here we are on Renner Road, and I don't know what happened here. My GoPro didn't last as long as it normally does. I don't know if I didn't charge it well, or if the battery is dying, or I accidentally turned it off. I don't think I accidentally turned it off. It must have been a low battery for some reason, but The battery in these GoPro sessions do not last forever, and also they are not replaceable, so eventually they will wear out and die. There's Angela to my right, and she's like, hey, I'm just going to close this down. Boom. Going to close this down, and giving me a little bit of a ride up here as we approach, I guess, where the heck are we? Are we approaching Breckenridge, the Breckenridge climb here? I think we are. And yeah, so Renner Road, always a good time. And like I said, it started to get cool. You know when you're riding and you've put on what you think is the right amount of material, but you're starting to get a little sweaty and you're starting to get a little bit itchy, wet, cold, and hot all at the same time, and it's kind of this uncomfortable feeling. That's a little bit of what it was like for me. I think I overdressed by a tad. I was wearing my what is it called? Da, 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 anyway, it was my Castelli jacket that has the vents. So anytime you get a winter jacket, trust me, you want one with vents so that you can help control your temperature. Because you can easily heat up, and the vents are nice because you don't have to zip down the front and you don't have to be flapping around or catching air. Just a little bit of air that goes through the vents. So really like that jacket. It's not too hot and it has a wide temperature range of which one can flexibly stay in the right zone as far as temperature. So here we are approaching the Breckenridge climb. This was a little bit more pedestrian ride today. When I say pedestrian, it wasn't as fast, it wasn't as surgy. I think there was, as soon as I say that, Alvin taking an effort in advance of Breckenridge Hill. And, you know, I guess the rest of us, I don't know if some other people off the front went hard here, but, it always breaks up a little bit here as we go up the climb. As you get a differential in the watts per kilogram abilities of the riders, or perhaps put differently, the desire to put in a lot of watts per kilogram of each particular rider, whereas, of course, the lightest riders with the most power have the most benefit. However, in general, for short climbs like this, guys with big power, i.e., big peak power, big 20-second power, will go up these kinds of climbs faster than anybody else. So you can see that red light flashing in the distance. That's Alvin. But we usually hit this light red and come back together. And there's a bit of a downhill here, and then we continue back uphill on my favorite part of the ride, actually, to put in a little interval on a 1 to 2%, maybe 1 to 1.5% climb on Renner Road. So pretty soon the battery is going to go out, and I'm actually going to include some bonus rear view footage. And gosh, you've been saying, where is the rear view footage? We love that 720p Cycle IQ video that flashes on and off because of dropped frames. I have the first generation Cycle IQ Fly 6, and I like aspects of it, but the quality of the picture is not so great. I think the newer ones are better, but I think it was a worthwhile purchase for me because I use it all the time, and the main purpose of it is to protect me in the case of an accident or some kind of malfeasance by somebody, kind of like a dash cam on your car. So I would recommend running cameras, and the nice thing about the Cycle IQ compared to the GoPro is the much longer battery life. So I think they advertise it as 6-hour battery life. Your GoPro is not going to go 6 hours. Even on my session, let's see, at the setting of 1080p, 30 frames per second, maybe you'll get an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, something like that, hour and 30 minutes. Maximum, if you're running like 2.7K like I am for this video, or 4K, forget about it. It's going to be much less time that you're able to run your cameras. So just going out on a ride where you want some documentation in case anything goes wrong. I guess most of the Cycle IQ footage I see is related to bikes crashing with each other. Just saw one the other day from the Plano Bicycle Association. Guy hits a little crack on the side of in the road near a drainage manhole cover thing area, and just like the one that we just passed there on the right. And just, he just got in that crack a little bit and boom, went down. Didn't look to me like, I don't know. I shouldn't say anything, but I don't think everyone, anyway, I don't know if he got his balance wrong or what, but it wasn't a huge crack. But that just shows you that any given moment with any crack or debris in the road or anything, you could go down. So you need to be careful. And luckily, we have everyone running cameras to capture those moments. So here we go to the Fly 6 rear footage. You can see Kimmeth. Unfortunately, we can't see his pain face. He's got the best pain face in North Texas, hands down. Everyone agrees. If we had a Dallas Observer, Best Pain Face 2019 Cycling Award, Kimmeth would have a plaque on his wall, and he'd put it next to the plaques from 2018, 2017, probably all the way back to 2012. He would be the award winner. I guess this is where I start to put in an effort, and I'm trying to do a lead out for the guys in front so that they can sprint at the end at City Line and be going fast into the sprint. So this is kind of like a 600-watt effort, trying to sustain it as long as my poor little heart can go, and as long as I can reasonably go. So this is why I don't put in a lot of why I haven't included rear footage recently, because I don't know, is it really all that awesome to look at a big hunk of light with dropped frames? We can see here that this is Alvin on my rear wheel, and we gapped the group despite not surging. So it is what it is, and everyone's got a different pace and goal and everything, and here we are reaching near the end of the ride at City Line. So gosh, man, 17 minutes of this? How did I talk about nothing for 17 minutes? So I apologize. If you made it this far, I apologize. You should have you should have bailed on this a long time ago, but hopefully you got some measure of boredom relieved, and maybe you picked up some wonderful philosophy of life today, and I have helped you in some way that is either measurable or immeasurable. I don't know. We like to measure things in cycling, so if you want to state your FTP of wisdom gained, let me know. Watts wisdom gained. I'll talk to you guys later. So long from the Pop Ride.